Good morning. Here's what you missed over the last 10 hours. You had 8 videos worth catching up on, covering everything from AI development workflows and system design fundamentals to electric vehicle market struggles and gaming industry controversies. Let's start with some fascinating insights about AI and programming from Stefan Mischuk, who's been developing for 30 years. Stefan was really fired up about what he calls the 80% wall. This phenomenon, where non-developers use AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude and initially feel super successful building applications, but then everything completely falls apart when they're about 80% done. He shared a specific example of a friend who burned through thousands of dollars on Claude tokens over several months, initially feeling great about their progress, but ultimately ended up with nothing usable. What really surprised Stefan was that even major corporations like Amazon and Microsoft are hitting the same wall with AI-generated code falling apart. Meanwhile, experienced developers using AI are seeing remarkable 5–10x productivity increases. Stefan's central thesis is that to use AI effectively beyond trivial stuff, you absolutely need software developer skills, which creates enormous opportunities for developers who understand both programming fundamentals and AI tools. He laid out a 5-point roadmap: learn programming foundations, understand design patterns and refactoring, develop system-based thinking, and master the AI stack. Stefan was pretty adamant that traditional junior developer paths focusing on React, Angular, or mobile frameworks are no longer viable. He used Wayne Gretzky's strategy, quote about skating, to where the puck is going rather than where it is, arguing developers need to anticipate the field moving toward AI-based development rather than chasing what was popular years ago. Speaking of development fundamentals, RJ McCandless from Amazon put together a really practical tier ranking of system design concepts. RJ was confident but measured in his delivery, arguing that what separates real engineers from coders is understanding system design, not just coding skills. He systematically ranked over 20 technologies, placing REST APIs, databases, load balancers, CDNs, monitoring, and CI/CD in his S tier as absolutely essential. His reasoning was solid. Load balancers enable horizontal scaling, which is really the only way to achieve massive scale. REST APIs are fundamental to virtually every application, and monitoring is crucial because without it, you're just waiting for customers to find problems and text you. Interestingly, he put some trendy technologies in lower tiers. GraphQL earned D tier because while it sounds appealing in theory, it becomes complex in practice, and 99% of applications should stick with REST. Microservices got C tier treatment, acknowledging their value when you have 20+ developers on the same codebase, but arguing they're not beneficial for most use cases. He was particularly emphatic about not rolling your own authentication, strongly recommending providers like Auth0, Clerk, and Supabase Auth to reduce security breach risk. RJ emphasized that unshipped features provide zero value to companies, which is why CI/CD earned S tier placement. On the AI tooling front, we had an incredibly detailed walkthrough from Nodus Labs about building sophisticated AI workflows. The presenter was genuinely evangelical about his 4-pillar system, opening with the bold claim that ChatGPT users are driving a sports car in first gear. He argued that the interface and setup around AI models matters more than the model choice itself. His system uses Claude code with controlled context, MCP servers, custom skills, and reasoning graphs. The controlled context piece was fascinating. While ChatGPT starts from a blank slate each time, Claude Desktop can select entire folders as context and understand project structures immediately. He demonstrated connecting InfraNodus MCP servers for real-time knowledge graph analysis, showing how Claude automatically identified and used multiple tools without manual selection. The skills component lets you create custom prompts that give the LLM specific knowledge or thinking frameworks, and you can ask Claude to create new skills on the fly. The reasoning graphs were particularly clever. These define not just what to think, but how to think, using frameworks like Ray Dalio's economic principles or getting to yes negotiation strategies. During his demo, he showed Claude's impressive self-correction ability when it initially failed to find a graph, automatically identifying the error and correcting it by specifying the proper username. Tom from ICOR took a completely different approach to AI management, revealing his system of 30-plus specialized AI agents managed by a single orchestrator named Larry. Tom was clearly proud of this setup, having built it based on real-world business team principles from his corporate business analyst background. The three-person foundation includes Larry, the orchestrator who delegates but never performs tasks, Nolan, the HR person who handles hiring new specialists when gaps are identified, and Pax, the senior researcher who provides detailed specifications for new agent roles. What's brilliant about Tom's approach is that it's entirely local, just folders and Claude, no third-party tools required. The folder structure includes Larry's Claude, MD file at the root, a team folder with other members' personas, an owner's inbox for completed work review, and a BKM folder for business knowledge management with SOPs that are referenced rather than embedded to save tokens. Tom even has his physical scanner connected to automatically send documents to a team inbox via Dropbox, creating a scan-and-forget workflow. He maintains session logging through SQLite databases and keeps personal knowledge management separate from team knowledge to avoid confusion. The whole system is designed around the principle that if you have an efficient human team structure, you can replicate it with AI. Now shifting to some technical developments, DIY Smart Code delivered an enthusiastic breakdown of Google's new Gemma 4 models. The presenter was clearly excited about the improvements, noting that Google's small models went from getting one math problem in 5 right a year ago to 9 in 10 this year, but emphasized this only works if you pick the right version for your hardware. Google released 4 sizes: E2B with 2.3 billion parameters for phones and Raspberry Pi, E4B with 4.5 billion for laptops, a clever middle model with 25 billion total parameters, but only 4 billion active at any time, and the 31B flagship. The middle model was where he got particularly animated, calling it interesting because it uses a memory efficiency trick, loads in 1618 GB, but runs at 4 billion parameter speed while delivering flagship quality. It ranked 6th on independent leaderboards, right behind the flagship, but at a fraction of the running cost. The 31B flagship made headlines by ranking 3rd among all open models, achieving 89% on hard math benchmarks and master level on competitive programming. He revealed a speed trick most reviewers missed running the big and small models together, with the small one making quick guesses while the big one double-checks them, providing average speed boosts around 29% and jumping to 50% for code. Moving to automotive news, the Electric Viking delivered some sobering analysis of Volkswagen's global struggles. Sam Evans was clearly concerned about the severity of VW's situation, methodically walking through Q1 2026 numbers that were frankly devastating. VW Group's global sales fell 4% to just over 2 million vehicles, but the regional breakdown revealed the real crisis: a catastrophic 20.5% drop in U.S. sales and 15% decline in China. These are particularly threatening because China and North America together represent over 55% of global car sales, and VW has historically derived 50% of its profits from China alone. Evans emphasized this wasn't just about volume, but also profitability, with profits per unit continuing to shrink alongside the sales declines. The only bright spots were SCOD sales up 14%, VW commercial vehicles up 10%, and MAN truck sales growing 14.5%, but these couldn't offset the broader collapse. VW's response has been to commit to 35 billion euros in cost savings, primarily through firing 50,000 people over the next few years. Evans positioned this within the broader context that North America, Europe, and China represent over 80% of global car sales, making VW's struggles in the 2 largest markets an existential threat rather than a temporary downturn. Staying with electric vehicles, we got an interesting Tesla update from the same channel. The Electric Viking was genuinely puzzled about the Cybertruck's poor sales performance despite considering it good value at $69,990. The key revelation was that of 7,071 Cybertrucks registered in Q4 2025. SpaceX purchased 1,280 units, while another 60 went to Musk's other companies, meaning 19% of total sales went to Musk's own companies, representing over $100 million in purchases. This is particularly striking given Tesla's original ambitious plans to sell 250,000 Cybertrucks annually based on over 1 million pre-orders. The presenter acknowledged that Tesla initially promised better specs for range and price than what was delivered, though he noted inflation as a contributing factor. He positioned the struggle within broader electric truck challenges, mentioning Ford's cancellation of the F-150 Lightning. Tesla's recent response has been introducing a new $60,000 base model, a contractor edition that strips premium features while maintaining core utility. This pricing made the presenter more optimistic, especially given the vehicle's size being bigger than a Ford F-150. The base model maintains 325 miles EPA range and 0-60 acceleration in 4.1 seconds, matching the premium version that costs $20,000 more. Finally, we had some fascinating gaming industry drama from Yang Ye about AI technology in game development. He was clearly critical of NVIDIA's controversial DLSS 5 technology, while showing genuine enthusiasm for Phantom Blade Zero as a game. The issue is that DLSS 5 creates what critics call AI slop visuals that make characters unrecognizable and homogenize game aesthetics. Yang Ye cited the Grace character transformation in Resident Evil as a prime example. Phantom Blade Zero's developers appear to be withdrawing support for the technology, though they didn't explicitly mention DLSS 5 in their statement. Instead, they said, "We will not use AI visual tech that could alter our artists' original creative intent," and emphasized that human artistry is not merely a means for creating value. It is the value itself. Yang Ye connected this to broader developer concerns, referencing an insider gaming report revealing that many developers were kept in the dark about DLSS 5, with Ubisoft developers learning about it simultaneously with the public and Capcom developers expressing shock at the announcement. He argued that artists deliberately choose every visual element to create specific vibes that DLSS 5 destroys with its AI filter, and raised moral concerns about the technology being trained on stolen artwork without permission. He praised Phantom Blade Zero's developers for having the balls to take a stance against the technology when many others are afraid to speak up. That covers the major developments from your 8 videos. The common thread seems to be the ongoing tension between AI capabilities and human expertise, whether that's developers needing to understand fundamentals to use AI effectively, artists protecting their creative vision from AI homogenization, or the practical challenges of implementing these powerful new tools correctly. Quite a bit to think about as these technologies continue evolving rapidly.